Hey everyone, this is Lucy from KBeautyHobbit.com. It's time for another nail tutorial. Those videos do the best on my channel, so I've been making more of them. But if you're here for my K-beauty content, fails and facelists, empties reviews, all those things, don't worry, I will be making those videos as well. I'm just taking a tiny breather from them because it's a lot of work to get all dolled up and shoot as many as I do in a day. So don't worry, those are coming. Anyway, today I have a brand new to me brand called I think that's how you pronounce it. You tell me how it's supposed to be pronounced if you know. These are made in Korea. These were recommended to me by another nail enthusiast, and I honestly have seen them before a little bit somewhere on the internet, but never really looked into them. I got this gift set from Costco. This is not sponsored or anything. I just bought this with my own money to try. When I try to see where to find this brand of nails online, I didn't have a lot of luck. I'll put links to where I did find it in the description box, as well as links to all the tools I'm using. But Costco had a really good price on these for the set. There are some instructions in here, and then inside we have the lamp, the strips. I picked the red, and then the magic remover. Magic remover stuff probably is not really necessary. Any of the semi-cured gel strips that I've ever done come off just fine without a remover. Using oil or any kind of nail polish remover that you have, you don't really have to have a separate dedicated one, but hey, it's part of the kit and I got a really good deal. I wasn't going to turn that down. Here are the nails, and if you do want to know how to remove them, I do have removal videos, at least a couple of them, in my nails playlist. This is super cute though, look at that. Let's bake with the gel lamp. This lamp is a little bit different, or a lot different, from the ones that I'm used to. I'm used to the ones that look like these, where really the only thing that changes on the lamp is the logo from brand to brand, but I have not seen one like that. However, I'll still be using my large lamp because my large lamp has lights all around the dome, and this one just has them at the top. However, this is neat. I will be keeping that. I usually give away my lamps because I have so many, but this one I think I'll be keeping because it's interesting. This is what the remover looks like. Obviously, I'll be keeping that as well. I've been using the horror remover. Again, not a necessary product, but I have it. It came in one of my sets or something, gift with purchase, I can't remember. So I have it. I do like the dropper. That is more convenient than nail polish remover. This one's good until 2026, so I'll find some use for it. The nails themselves. This is the color Rouge. Costco did not have that many choices. They had this red and then kind of a lavender bluish color, and you can't really go wrong with a classic red. This is super cute. It's a little door, complete with a tiny doorknob, and it says welcome you. I did open this already ahead of time because one of my followers bought the same set but a different color, and hers came in damaged. All of the strips were cured. They were curled up and hardened, which is definitely not supposed to happen. I'm sure Costco will take care of her, but because she shared that with me, I wanted to make sure that my set was okay before I went ahead and started filming, because that would really suck if I opened everything and wanted to film and show you, and then boom, just to discover that they're all curled up and destroyed. But mine seem completely fine, so hopefully they're okay. We have the little prep pad in here. Right off the bat, I have to say, the packaging, all of the cutesy little details are right up my alley. That's the kind of stuff that makes a nail brand stand out to me in the sea of other semi-cured gel strips. Then we have the nail file and a little orange stick. This says made in China, but the nails are made in Korea and it's a Korean brand. I'm a very experienced nail sticker user. My very first set was purchased at Target years ago, probably 9 if not longer. Yeah, about 9 years ago. It was Sally Hansen, and they didn't stay well at all, but it was such a new and cool product, unlike anything I've seen before. I was doing shellac at home at the time on myself, and obviously I couldn't, in my wildest dreams, replicate or even come close to having the design complexity that nail stickers offered. And then afterwards, I was selling Jamboree for a while, for 3 years or so. I have a video about that and what a disaster that ultimately was. Right now I'm pushing back my cuticle with a metal cuticle pusher. Again, I'll put all the tools in the description box below. This is an inexpensive infinitely reusable tool that is very much worth the small investment if you're going to be doing nails on any regular basis. I don't cut or remove my cuticle in any way because that really opens up the possibility for little nicks and cuts and infections. Plus, I'm just not very good at that. If you're great at that, go for it, but I don't do that. I don't cut my nails beforehand, and actually my nails are super short right now. I've been doing quite a few different nail tutorials, but this last nail set was glue-on nails, and I usually don't use glue. I don't like glue because no matter how I remove them, there's always glue residue, and basically my nails just kind of take a beating a little bit. So I want to put on something more familiar to me, the gel strips, and hopefully keep them on for about 2 weeks so that my nails can grow back out. I'm using their prep pad, the included prep pad, to fully degrease the nail. My hands are already clean and dry with no lotion on them, probably very obvious by my dry skin, but that's okay. It's okay for them to be dry temporarily for now. I can always put lotion on later today. Looking at the instructions on the back of the box, the cuticle side seems to be this one, the one closest to the edge of the sticker sheet. These are domed, meaning they are thinner toward the cuticle and slightly thicker toward the middle. That's what makes them feel and look more like salon gel, because if you were to go get a manicure at a salon, they would typically do thinner layers of gel toward the cuticle, and then it'll be built up a little bit more toward the middle. And like with any nail strips, we want to choose something that is very close to the size of the nail, but not bigger than the nail, because anything that goes over the skin will most likely lift and not last well. And I spend extra amount of time on my manicures just to make sure that they last very well, and I want them to last for 2 weeks. The sheets are identical in size. I just checked. Some brands like Ahora will have 2 sheets of nails, but they're not identical in size. These ones are identical, so I'm going to try and work with 1 sheet. We'll see. I might need 2. I'm just trying to pick the appropriate size for my pinky, and I think it's going to be this one. Most likely I can stretch these a tiny bit width-wise. They feel nice and pliable, but I usually try to find the size that already fits without having to be stretched. And I don't recommend trimming these on the sides because, again, they're domed and they're thinner toward the edges, thicker toward the middle. Okay, I'm lying it down, trying to kind of put it in the position that I want it in, but without smushing it down too hard, because until you smush it down, you can still reposition it fairly easily. There we go. Now that it's centered, and I can see that it's centered, I'm going to start pushing it down with my fingernail. And you want to push, or not my fingernail, my thumb, the pad with my finger. You want to push firmly, but don't press too hard, because you don't want this to get dented. These are semi-cured, so they're still soft. They're not fully baked. They're not fully cured. Then I like to use one more optional additional tool that was not included in the kit, which is a rubber tip cuticle pusher, to gently but firmly push down all along the edge of the nail. This really helps make sure that there are no air pockets, no bubbles, and no space between the sticker and the fingernail. And that makes a huge difference in how well or how long the nails last. But I will also tell you that a lot depends on the brand and how the nails are made. There are certain brands that I've tried in the past that no matter what you do, no matter the prep, no matter your tools, no matter your experience level or the time that you're willing to dedicate to the application process, they still wear like crap. So there's that too. Once the strip is on, I use manicure scissors. You can use clippers if that's what you're comfortable with. I'm more used to scissors. And just cut the excess sticker off. Don't worry about this edge being perfect or super straight or smooth. It does not have to be any of those things, because you can file all of that mess after curing, but don't try to file before curing, because everything is soft and it's basically impossible and takes forever to file a soft sticker. Well, let's do one more together and then I'll finish them off camera and show you the next step. I don't think I'll be able to stick to just using 1 sheet because the sizes here don't really duplicate within the sheet, and I need different sizes from here for my nails, so I will be dipping into the second sheet for sure. So let's do this ring finger. Again, I am lining it up with a cuticle, as close to the cuticle as possible without going over. The reason I want it as close as possible is because that would allow the nail to grow out and not look totally super grown out for a little while. If you start a millimeter further up, you will already start out with your nails looking slightly grown out, and I don't want that. My nails grow pretty quickly, and a lot of the times with my tried and true nail brands that I perfected the application for, like a Hora or Dashing Diva, a lot of the times after 2 weeks, they still look great. They don't lift, they don't budge, they don't chip, but I have to take them off because the nail growth is very, very visible, and I am not into that. These do feel more pliable and softer and more jelly-like than other brands of semi-cured strips that I've tried, and I like that. I feel like that lets them really take on the shape of my nail and follow the curvature really well without being stiff, because I've had some nails where no matter how hard I press, no matter what I do, they just don't lie down very well, and then I would have lifting even sometimes 2 or 3 days after application. I'm going to go ahead and finish these and show you the next steps. I applied the rest of these both hands and have not cured them yet. Something really strange keeps happening. If you look at this index finger, you can see that the sticker is lifting. These are very soft. They remind me of jelly. I think if I tried, I could probably tear them even, but I don't know how well they're going to stay down. Hopefully when I cure them, maybe they will stay down better, but I know if right now, if I stuck them under the lamp, I'm afraid they would cure with pieces of them sticking up away from the nail, and I don't want that. I'm going to use the trick that I learned this year, and I have a more detailed video about it, my Ahora life-changing squish light trick, but I basically use that with most of my gel nails now, the sticker nails. It's this little thing right here. It's a squish light. It's a UV light with a silicone pad right here. And you can get replacement pads. Mine is a little bit ripped, but not bad. Somebody told me you can put saran wrap on this to protect it from ripping, but mine doesn't rip very much. I think most people who have ripping maybe are using this on really long nails, maybe nail styles that are a little bit sharper, like stiletto. Mine, as you can see, are super rounded and very short. But this is a UV light, just like a nail curing lamp. And you turn it on, and what I like to do is squish that firmly, not super hard, but pretty firm, and then roll it around a little bit on the nail. This will not cure them fully, although maybe it could if you kept that there long enough, but you would have to cure each nail for well over a minute, I'm guessing, to really cure it fully with this. The reason that I use this is to get the cuticle line to really stick, adhere really well, because I'm not just curing it, I'm curing it with pressure. And that looks already really good. Let's see if this one that's been my little problem child is better after the light. I do the squish light, and then I still do a round under my regular big light. And that usually does the trick for me. And with Ahora, it was literally life-changing, because I love Ahora. I love their designs, all of their syrupy, kind of blendy ones. But I used to get lifting at the cuticle usually about 8 days out, sometimes 5 days out, and hair would get stuck there, and I hated that. I never have that issue anymore because of the squish light. So it's a very inexpensive little thing. I know that's relative, but it's under $10 on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description box. And I've been using this for a few months now, and it hasn't needed any replacement parts. Mine came with a couple extra silicone little cushions, but I'm still using my very first one, and it has not gone bad yet. But I do this to both hands, and then I stick them under my lamp for a couple of minutes, and then I do one more optional step. Again, you don't have to do the optional steps. I used to get people commenting on my videos, oh, this is so many steps, I don't want to do that, this really is not a review because that's not what you're meant to do with these. But if you look at the official brand application tutorials for a lot of brands, not for every brand, but for a lot of brands, they show a 30-second little slap these on, cure them, you're done. But that's just not realistic for most people. It does not result in the longest wear. And I think when you're a marketer for a brand, you want to make things look super simple. Then if you start going into all these details, oh, but you also might want to have a rubber cuticle pusher, you also might want to do a top coat, you also might want to do this and that, it will just discourage a lot of people. But I think it's somewhat unfair too to try to simplify it so much that if people followed the instructions step by step exactly like that, they wouldn't really get the advertised wear time. So something to ponder. Usually when I'm not filming, it takes me maybe 35 minutes to do an application, and that's going at a leisurely pace, taking my time, watching a show, or listening to an audiobook. It really is not a long process. Okay, that's it for the light, for the squish light. I keep wanting to call it something else, something not safe for work, because I don't know, it's how my mind works. These are UV gloves. I also got them on Amazon. Put a link in the description box for that. This is what's left of my stickers after doing both hands. I don't think I could do another manicure with these because the ones that are left are mostly kind of too narrow for my nails, but maybe, I don't know. Important thing though, if you do want to save your extras, and I usually do save them even if there's not enough for a full manicure, because if something happens and one nail pops off or I damage it somehow, whatever, I could still use one of these to redo just that one nail if it happens shortly after application. So make sure you store them in their little box before you start curing your nails with the lamp, because if the light from the lamp touches these, they will also get fully cured and then you will not be able to use them again. And this is the lamp I have. I really like it. I wouldn't repurchase the specific brand anymore. It's not being made anymore and it was an MLM. But if I were to repurchase one, I think I would buy probably the gelish one, just because I've had a good luck with their branded products. I have never had any sponsored deals or any gifts from them or anything like that. I just like the brand. I feel like it's very reputable. And people usually ask me in the comments, well, what full-size lamp do you recommend? I don't know. I would probably buy gelish, but I'm not sure if that's the best. I really like the ones, though, that have this domed design where you can stick a whole hand in there all at once, and where the lights go all around and hit your nails from every angle. As you can see, my thumb is getting as much light as my middle finger, my index finger, whereas the lamps with lights just at the top, they only hit from the top, and so I feel like you'd have to do your thumbs separately, probably sticking them, holding them like this, and it's just extra time. I did the light on all of these, you saw me do that, and then I cured them under the lamp twice, 1 minute each round. They feel hard and fully cured now, and I don't see any lifting or any of that buckling that I was experiencing that I showed you before curing. I still think that that probably would have remained an issue if I only did the lamp and not the light. So perhaps with this particular brand, it is a good idea to just use the squish light, even if you think you don't need it. But if you tried these before, please let me know, because obviously this is my first set ever, and I don't know how they usually go. They are a lot thicker than the ones I'm used to. I can see the edge here really clearly. It's probably not as easy to see on camera, but in real life, I see that, especially on the pinky. It is 3 times thicker, I think, than my actual natural nail. Now that they're cured, I'm going to file them, clean them up. I have this random, I don't even know what brand it is, but let's just use that. Don't really want to look for their branded one. And all I do is go in one direction and smooth out the little imperfections. Be mindful of the angle. You don't want to angle the file to where you take off just the sticker and then have the nail sticking out from underneath. And then also be mindful of your other hand, the one you're holding the file with. I have damaged before the nails on my other hand by not holding the file carefully enough, and then I scratch up the stickers on the other hand. So don't be like me, be better. We're technically done. We could stop right here. These are all filed, they're smooth, they're cured, they look fine, but adding a top coat to these really extends the lifespan of stickers. For me, I seal the free edge. That's the main reason I put on a top coat. And look at this pinky. Do you see how thick that sticker is? And you can very clearly see, okay, there's the nail and there's the sticker. And especially because I filed it now, it's also kind of matte as far as its texture, and you can see that it's white and matte, and it's so obvious that there's just something stuck on top of the fingernail that's not gel polish, because if you go and get your nails painted, they will cap your free edge with the gel polish that they're painting your nails with. So we're going to do a one step, no wipe coat. I've been using this Alice and Bella one. This was sent to me as a gift, not a sponsored video. I'll put a link to them in the description box. I really like it. This is my current favorite because it's a base and a top in one. As far as you don't need to have a base coat, it will be just fine on top of the stickers, and it does not need to be wiped off when you're done. When you cure it, it comes out nice and hard and it's done. You don't need to wipe off the tacky finish with the alcohol wipe like you do with some of the other brands. I always swirl the brush on the way out of the bottle. I don't want there to be a huge glob of gel on it because I don't want it to glob on my finger. Okay, the main thing is to cap the free edge. I start with that because if you start with just painting your nail and then cap the free edge, you get a bulge toward the end of your nail. I don't want that. This is a lot easier to do if you have longer nails. Mine, like I said, are super duper short. I'm sure somebody's going to say something not so nice about it. Somebody told me in one of my videos that it would be nice to see a tutorial on somebody who has fingernails and not nubs. Friend, you do you. It's a free internet world out here. You can make your own tutorial with nails as long as you can grow. But mine kind of vary in length. This is definitely very short for me, but that's not uncommon for me. I don't mind short nails. Typically though, I have them longer than this before I do stickers, but the best way for me to actually grow them is to do stickers because my nails are on the thinner side and because I'm kind of rough on my hands. Having a sticker plus a top coat actually protects them from breaking while they grow out. Stickers, top coats, all of that won't make your nails grow. It will not do anything to make them grow faster or longer or anything as far as altering the way that your nail functions or its structure, but it can just help mechanically protect the nail from damage so that it can grow as long as it can. Okay, I'm going to do that with both hands and then I cure it once under the lamp. Follow instructions for your top coat, for your lamp, and look, see, does it feel like it's cured all the way? But for this one, usually one round is fine, and then I'll be done. I'll show you the finished look. I really like how these turned out after the top coat. If you remember what the pinky looked like before, here it is after. You can obviously still see the red and my natural nail being two separate things, but it's definitely not as obvious, and there's this one coat that sort of unites them into one cohesive unit. These are thicker and more domed. There's more of a difference between the cuticle thickness and the thickness toward the middle than other brands that I've tried of the semi-cured nails. These are also semi-translucent. I've been putting my scraps here, I'll throw this away later, but I've been sticking my scraps in here that I've cut off, and you can see through them. You can see the text through them, so they're not as solid as some of the other brands, and I don't know if all of the UUUU nails are like that or if it's just this solid color, but I actually like that look. I think it looks pretty cool. We'll see how they wear. That's really the biggest thing, is do these last well? Most nail stickers look pretty good first when you apply them, but whether or not they'll last, that's what I really want to know, because I don't want to spend half an hour or an hour doing my nails every 3 days. I can do it once every 2 weeks, but not once every 3, 4, 5 days, whatever. So I'll put little updates in my stories on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit. I have a nails highlight and I kind of put updates on how things wear there, but also obviously feel free to ask me in the comments if you're interested and I'll let you know, or if there's anything you want to know about that I didn't cover, let me know. I misspoke about the top coat. I do cure it for 2 rounds with my lamp, not 1 round. And 1 round may be enough, but I'm really paranoid about not curing things fully because that can sometimes lead to allergies. So I try to cure fully, and that's another reason why I wear gloves, just to protect my skin. But let me know what you think. My first impressions are positive. I just didn't like how these were not sticking all the way down before I did the squish light on them. That's the only thing so far I don't love. The thickness, I think that probably wouldn't have been as dramatic if I had longer nails, because they start out thin, then they get thicker toward the middle, and then they sort of thin out again toward the other edge. So if I had longer nails, I think my edges would not be this dramatically thick. But it really doesn't look bad in real life. It's just something that I noticed because it's different from other brands. But I think they look pretty good, and I paid, I can't remember, I think it was $14 after tax with free shipping from Costco for all of this. The nails, the lamp, and the remover, so it really was not a bad deal at all. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope this was useful, entertaining, or both. If you have any other nail brand suggestions that I should try, please leave me a comment. I tried a lot of stuff. You can check out my nails playlist for all of that, including removal videos and all the other tutorials, and some chatty nail MLM discussions as well. You can find me on Instagram at KBeautyHobbit, my blog KBeautyHobbit.com, and in my private Facebook group, Korean Beauty Fanatics. We are at almost 88,000 members now. I can't believe it. Thank you very much. Hope to see you in my next video. Until then, please remember to always listen to your skin. Thank you so much. Bye.